So we're here at the CCA workbench, and we're going to talk about the Academy outdoors rigs and techniques. And we brought in our snook specialists.
Correct.
Somebody who really understands how to catch a snook in tannic water or anywhere.
Right.
So Ronnie, let's just get right into it.
Well, you know, obviously there's a variety of ways you can catch these fish. Like Rick said in the beginning of the show, he's using live pinfish. So simply a circle hook, whether it be a 4-0, a 3-0, a 5-0. But when you're using the big live baits or the pilchards and the herring, you want to, 40 is a minimum. I wouldn't chance it. I'm sure the fish he's catching, it's 50 to 60 pound leaders. So basically your live baits, your circle hooks, and your 40 to 60 pound leaders. But what I enjoy doing is I like searching for them. So here we go. That's a Akuma Epic Sur. It's a 4,000. It's a $70 reel. It's a light reel on a medium heavy 7-foot rod. I can cast this rod all day long, all day long, all day long. What I like about it is I can cover water, but also by using the top water, it's my favorite. It's a search bait. So if the fish doesn't take it, he blows up there. Immediately what I do is I put the power poles down and I fan cast. Because normally where you find one snook, there's gonna be more. So I throw top waters all day. Now when it comes to fishing for the bigger snooks or tight structure, there's no reel that I feel to be any better in a 4,000 series that's not made to cast lures all day, but when you're fishing tight to structure, points, docks, and bridges, that 4,000 on a Ricky Red 20 to 30 pound rod. But if you look at this artificial bait I got, that's a die dapper. I've got 80 pound leader on that die dapper. So that tells you want to use a little heavier rod with a little heavier reel with better drag. Now when it comes to baits, I mean, like I say, it's endless. Yes, I love the top waters. Searching and catching bass in the clean water before we get the rains, your chartreuse, your bones, and stuff like that. If the fish hits the top water and misses it, what am I going to do? I'm going to come back with any of these subsurface baits, whether it's Miradine, whether it's Sabile, something that goes from 6 inches to 2 foot to see if the fish reacts better on a subsurface bait. If not, I might go to a soft plastic, depending upon the color of the water. If the finger mullets are around, I might go to a salty snack by Bass Assassin. I might have to go down to a 4-inch bait. So depending upon what baits are in the water, I try to match the hatch with water clarity and time of year, depending upon what I'm going to use. Now also, there's another bait that's out on the market, which is a no-brainer. You can use this. It's basically a live pilchard.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. You throw it out and reel it in. If you look at the top of the head on that, things have happened.
That's a live target, by the way. That's live
your paddle tail baits, any of these paddle tail baits, what do, Rick? You just throw them out and do what?
Reel back.
Reel them in. The vibration of that tail is going to trigger the bite for that fish. A good hook, a good jig head is very important. So once the fish eats the bait, you want to have a good strong hook. A lot of the hard plastics baits that we use, they come with a sort of stock bass bait. Most of these baits are for bass. Upgrade your split rings, upgrade your treble hooks. I'm a big artificial guy. 90% of the time, I'm throwing artificials. And when the bite's on, there's no better way to entice a fish and catch a fish, bring them to the boat. It's much more satisfying and gratifying to me than people have their preference in just sitting somewhere, anchored up, tossing out baits. I like to cover water and always find new areas of fish.
Are there certain tides that you'll go from a live bait to a dead bait, or from a artificial lure to live baits, or is it just a personal preference?
Well, generally, whether it's live bait, cut bait, artificials, you're always going to want to have that moving water. One of the things about me is on the west coast of Florida, if you've noticed over the years, a lot of people like to fish comfortable. They like to get within casting range of the mangroves. I don't like doing that. I like the water to be away from the mangroves, and that's why I throw the top waters on like 20-pound braid, because I can fling that almost a half a spool. I can be 3 or 4 casting lengths away from the shorelines. I might be sitting in 12 inches of water, but the lure's going to land in 5 to 6 inches of water, and I'm going to work the water column all the way out to me. So basically, for me, it's water movement. It doesn't matter if it's outgoing or incoming. I like the medium tides. Once that water gets up, then fish get too close to the structure. Now you're playing a game where, okay, if you hook a fish, you better be on it and know how to get him out from the structure. So, I will give you one tip.
So that's why you like to be out from the mangroves so they don't run in there.
Whenever I'm running trips, most people say to me, why aren't you up against the mangroves? Because I said, I'm fishing the tides where they're away. That way your chances is a lot better when you hook a fish to get them out away from there into the boat. But a little tip I will give you, and you can practice this at home. You ever get hit by a snook and he's a good sized fish, he's running towards a dock, a tree, a piling. Chances are if you don't slow that fish down, he's gonna get in there and break you off. One thing I learned a long time ago was when you put that upward pressure on a fish, his tendency is to pull down, and he's going to keep going. If you've got a fish running towards a dock piling, one of the best things you can do, bring your rod down. If you want him to come to the left, bring the rod down. That's bottom pressure on him. That fish is going to turn away. You want him to come to the right, do the same thing. When you're at home, if you don't believe me, you got a dog, you're playing around in the living room, pull on his bottom jaw, make him go to the left, he's going to go right to it. Pull up, he's going to pull away from you.
Dave, get my wallet out of my bag.
I'm telling you, that was
Pay this,
beautiful.
man. We just need to pay it.
I don't
That's
think
good stuff over there, guys.
It was good.
He's-
Hey guys, if you like what you saw,
And you want to see more? Make sure to click the subscribe button below.